Chosen one, listen carefully. This is not an ordinary message. This is the third transmission from heaven, the one that carries final truth. God is speaking again, not once, not twice, but for the third time, because the world refused to listen the first two. The first time, you ignored it. The second time, you doubted it. But now, there is no escaping it. This isn't coincidence, it's divine repetition. Because when heaven repeats itself 3 times, it means this is your last reminder before manifestation begins. The universe is trembling, angels are aligning, heaven is rewriting timelines, and your name is glowing on that page. For weeks, your spirit has been restless. You felt the pull, that strange mix of anxiety and anticipation. You've been seeing repeating numbers, feeling sudden chills, hearing whispers in your soul. 3:33 on the clock, feathers appearing in random places, sudden emotions that make no logical sense. That's not paranoia, that's not imagination, that's communication. Your spirit recognizes the frequency of heaven, and now that frequency has reached its peak, because it's time for truth to surface. You've been chosen to hear what most people will ignore. While the world scrolls, you pause. While others sleep, your spirit listens. And tonight, heaven rewards your awareness. The final truth is being delivered to your soul. This is not about religion, not about fear, this is about divine remembrance. God is calling your name again, not because you failed, but because you're finally ready. You've been delayed, distracted, disappointed, but not denied. Every delay was a design, every heartbreak was a lesson, every silence was a setup for your calling. And now, the call is ringing louder than ever. This is your third notice from the divine, and heaven doesn't send a fourth. Something in the unseen world is shifting, a curtain is lifting, and you're standing at the threshold of a prophetic moment written long before you were born. You were meant to hear this message, you were meant to awaken right now, and the fact that you're hearing these words means heaven has officially marked you for divine movement. So stop doubting, stop fearing, stop running. Because this time, you can't hide from the truth that carries your name. The third message has arrived, the final truth is unfolding, and before this night ends, you will understand why God had to send it again. The first message didn't come through thunder or lightning, it came through silence. In the stillness that followed your pain. You remember that moment, don't you? When everyone walked away. When your heart shattered so quietly that no one even noticed. When the phone stopped ringing and the world seemed to forget your name. You thought you were abandoned, but heaven called it activation. That silence wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Because when God chooses a soul, he first separates it. He pulled you out of the noise so you could finally hear his voice. You cried, you questioned, you begged for answers, and in the middle of that stillness, God whispered, "You are not alone. I'm rebuilding you." Every sleepless night was a classroom. Every tear was a sacred baptism. Every lonely morning was a divine appointment between you and destiny. You didn't understand it then, but now you're starting to see it. Your isolation was not rejection, it was redirection. While they were partying, you were purifying. While they were gossiping, you were growing. While they were laughing, you were listening. You were being taught things only silence could teach. How to trust when you can't see. How to stand when you feel weak. How to believe when there's no sign of breakthrough. And when you finally surrendered, something sacred awakened inside you. A quiet strength, a holy resilience, a voice that said, "Even if no one else believes in me, God still does." That was your first awakening. That was heaven's first message, hidden in the pain you once cursed. And now, your soul remembers. Because that silence didn't break you, it built you. It crowned you with wisdom, armed you with empathy, and opened your spirit to divine truth. That's why now, when storms come, you don't panic. You listen. Because you know, silence is never empty. It's full of messages meant only for the chosen. The second message was never easy. It didn't arrive in whispers or signs. It came as fire, as tests so intense, they shook your world to the core. When everything fell apart, you cried out, "Why me?" You questioned the fairness of life, the silence of heaven, the loyalty of those around you. And then, you felt it. That deep, undeniable knowing, a voice inside, calm, unwavering, said, "Because I trust you with pain others couldn't survive." Chosen one, hear this. God does not test those who are weak. He tests those he intends to arm, those he intends to lead, those he has marked for greatness. Every betrayal was not a curse. Every rejection was not a failure. Every delay, every heartbreak, every lonely night was a divine refinement. You weren't being destroyed. You were being sharpened, forged into a weapon of purpose. Do you see it now? The friends you lost weren't gone. They were distractions removed. The money you lost wasn't gone. It was clearing your path of manipulation and false dependency. The faith you thought was shaken wasn't gone. It was activated. Heaven was watching silently. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment you thought you might break was being recorded, marked, and counted as growth points for your destiny. The second message was louder than the first. It demanded attention. It demanded endurance. It demanded faith beyond understanding. Some of you experienced heartbreak so deep it reshaped your soul. Some of you faced betrayal from the closest of friends, people you thought would never harm you. Some of you hit the lowest points in your career, finances, or personal life. But every time when the world said enough, God said, "Not yet." Because this was never about loss. It was about preparation. You were being trained in patience. You were being trained in discernment. You were being trained to stand unshakable, even when everything crumbled around you. Now, look back. See the threads of heaven weaving through your chaos. The moments you thought were mistakes were lessons in disguise. The nights you prayed in silence were prayers heard louder than any shout. The pain you endured was the exact pressure needed to awaken the warrior inside your soul. Chosen one, the second message is crystal clear. You weren't meant to be ordinary. You weren't meant to crumble under pressure. You were meant to rise stronger, wiser, and unbreakable. And through it all, heaven watched. Heaven celebrated your resilience. Heaven recorded your victories, even the quiet ones. This is the test of faith. This is the fire before the crown. This is the moment where God confirms you are ready. The first message was silence. The second was fire. And now, the third will awaken you fully, because your soul has been forged, tested, and refined for what is coming. This is the third message, the one heaven held back until the appointed time, the one meant to awaken not just you, but the world through you. Chosen one, this message is different, because this time, you're not being called to heal, you are being called to lead, not to hide, but to speak, not to wait, but to act. Heaven has spoken again, and its command is simple yet divine. Tell the truth, even if it shakes the earth. The truth that love is stronger than fear. The truth that purpose is greater than pain. The truth that you're not a mistake. You are a messenger. This world has fallen asleep under the weight of noise and lies. People chase fame, comfort, and illusion, forgetting the quiet voice within. But God never stopped calling. And now, His voice echoes through your heartbeat. You are given eyes that see beyond illusion. You notice patterns others ignore. You feel energy shifts before they're visible. You can sense truth behind people's words. That's not imagination. That's activation. Heaven placed divine coding inside your DNA, frequencies of awareness, empathy, and vision that few can carry. And now, those frequencies are turning on. That's why your energy feels different. That's why people are drawn to you, yet intimidated by your presence. Because your very existence disturbs darkness and awakens light. Everywhere you go, atmospheres change. When you walk into a room, energy moves. When you speak, spirits listen. When you pray, dimensions shift. You are not ordinary. You never were. You were designed as a bridge between heaven and earth. And this is the third message. Heaven's confirmation that your assignment is beginning now. This is why your old life stopped fitting, why certain friendships collapsed without explanation, why your career path suddenly shifted, because your frequency outgrew your environment. The call on your life is too heavy for shallow waters. You are meant to walk in deep realms, where miracles move, where angels operate, where truth cannot be silenced. Chosen one, God is speaking again, not to remind you of your pain, but to reveal your purpose. Every trial you've endured was a seed. Every wound you've healed from is now a weapon of wisdom. Every tear you shed watered the soil of your destiny. And now, heaven says, rise. You were once the student. Now you are the messenger. You were once the broken. Now you are the builder. You were once the seeker. Now you are the signal. This is the era of revelation. The third message is not for comfort. It's for awakening. It's heaven's declaration that the time for silence has ended. So speak boldly. Move with faith. Because when you open your mouth, it won't just be words. It will be frequency. It will be truth. It will be light. The world is about to shift, and you are part of that prophecy. Every cell in your body can feel it. The third message has been delivered, and it is vibrating through your soul like thunder. The angels have spoken. Heaven has confirmed. The universe is listening. And now it's your turn to answer. The final truth is this: God never left you. He never turned his face away. He wasn't silent because he forgot you. He was silent because he was inside you, waiting for you to remember. All this time, you kept searching the sky for signs, looking for miracles, confirmations, and proof that heaven was near. But the truth is, the sign was you. You are the miracle. You are the evidence that divine light can live inside a human vessel and still shine through the storms. You are the living message wrapped in skin and scars, carrying heaven's frequency in your heartbeat. Chosen one, the reason you've faced so much pain is because darkness recognized your purpose before you did. The reason demons attacked you early is because they saw your crown before you ever wore it. They knew what you were destined to become, a walking weapon of light, so they tried to crush you before you could rise. Betrayal came from loved ones not because they hated you, but because the enemy used the familiar to break your faith. The closer the attack, the deeper the lesson. The deeper the lesson, the stronger the spirit. But every attack failed. Every trap was reversed. Every storm that tried to drown you became your baptism, because you rose again. You rose when logic said you couldn't. You smiled when pain tried to silence you. You stood when the world expected you to crumble. And now, your light terrifies darkness. Your peace confuses demons. Your faith is untouchable. That is God's hidden reason. He allowed the pain not to punish you, but to prove you, to shape your soul into something unshakable, to turn your wounds into wisdom and your fears into fuel. Every sleepless night was a conversation with heaven. Every heartbreak was an initiation. Every failure was a divine detour guiding you back to your original blueprint. You see, God never wastes a wound. He transforms every scar into a symbol of strength. And when you carry those scars with pride, you carry proof that you've walked through fire and didn't burn, because the fire inside you was greater. This is the final truth. You're not waiting for a sign. You are the sign. You're not looking for the miracle. You are the miracle. You're not chasing purpose. You embody purpose. Heaven didn't choose you because you were perfect. He chose you because you were persistent, because even when you doubted, you didn't disconnect. Even when you were bleeding, you kept believing. Even when you had nothing left, you still whispered, "God, I trust you." And that whisper moved mountains in the unseen. That whisper built kingdoms in the spiritual. That whisper was heard by angels and echoed through eternity. The final truth is that your pain was the prophecy in disguise. It was heaven's way of showing the world that divine strength isn't about never falling. It's about rising every single time. So now, when people look at you, they won't just see a survivor. They'll see a messenger, a carrier of light, a living reminder that God's grace cannot be buried. Because when you rise after being buried, you don't just rise, you resurrect. And when you resurrect, you rise unstoppable. That is God's hidden reason. Chosen one, this is your confirmation. The heavens have spoken, again and again and again. Until now, you finally heard it. This message wasn't delayed, it was timed. Because destiny doesn't arrive when you want it. It arrives when you're ready to carry it. That's why God resent this message 3 times, not because he forgot you, but because you finally became the version of yourself that could understand it. The pain no longer defines you. The waiting no longer weakens you. And the world, it can no longer ignore you. Every tear you cried watered the soil of your purpose. Every heartbreak sharpened your discernment. Every closed door protected what was sacred inside you. Now, your soul stands unshaken. You are not the same person who once begged heaven for a sign. You have become the sign. You are the living prophecy, the walking miracle, the proof that divine timing is real and that God never fails his promises. Look around you. Everything you lost is being replaced by something greater. Where there was confusion, there is now clarity. Where there was loneliness, there will be alignment. Where there was fear, there will be divine fire. Chosen one, this is your rebirth. Heaven has rewritten your story. Your silence has become your sermon. Your scars have become your scripture. Do you feel that shift inside you? That calm certainty that doesn't need validation anymore? That's what happens when divine identity finally takes over human doubt. You no longer chase approval, you carry authority. Because when God calls your name 3 times, it means he's releasing you from every false version of yourself. This is not the season of waiting. It's the season of walking. Walk in your calling. Speak your truth. Move as if heaven has already said yes, because it has. The gates are open, the blessings are positioned, and the universe is rearranging itself to serve your divine mission. You're stepping into your confirmation era, where miracles will not just visit you, they will flow through you. Every word you speak will carry vibration. Every move you make will open doors. Every breath you take will align with destiny. The angels who once protected you from destruction are now guiding you toward manifestation. You're not fighting anymore, you are fulfilling. Chosen one. The third message has been delivered. The final truth has been revealed. Now heaven watches as you step forward, not as a survivor, but as a messenger. Go and fulfill your divine assignment, for the kingdom within you has awakened. The crown that once felt heavy now fits perfectly. The light you once hid now illuminates the path for millions. You are the echo of every prayer your ancestors ever whispered. You are the living evidence that faith still moves mountains. You are the final truth made flesh. So rise, chosen one. The time is not coming. The time is now. This is your heavenly confirmation.